Hey guys, welcome to Matt Does Stuff. This week I've got a very simple workshop project for you. My plans for being out in the garden have been foiled by the weather yet again. So I'm actually just making some simple storage boxes to hold some bits and pieces, and they look a bit like this. So if that floats your boat, stay tuned and we'll get into that. So I'll be showing you a couple of different methods for making the corner joins on those boxes today, and I'll be going through the processes and the materials that I'll be using, and I'll be showcasing my new table saw, which you saw the unboxing for last week. So let's get amongst it over at the workbench. Okay, so just to make the video a little bit more interesting, I'm going to use two separate joins for the corners of each of the boxes. Firstly, I've got the mitre joint, which is 45-degree angles cut on the ends of your sides, and they go together to form a 90-degree angle. So that is join number one, the mitre. Join number two is a rebate joint. And what a rebate is in the side of your, or on the long sides of your box, you would cut in a rebate, which means you're taking some material off about halfway, half the thickness of the side piece. What that gives you is not just a gluing surface on this one, but one on there as well. Makes it a little bit stronger, and then you just butt your other side into the rebate with some glue, and that is the rebate joint, and that is a little bit stronger than just your standard butt joint. For the sides of the box, I'm going to be using some 12mm MDF. That's around the right size. Anything thicker, maybe a little bit chunky, anything thinner, and you probably won't be able to get the recess and the rebates in. For the bottoms, I'm going to be using some ply, so this is 5.5mm ply. You can use MDF if you want, as long as it's around 5.5, 6mm. The reason for that is because when I cut the recess in, you don't want like a 12, 18mm recess, and it's just a waste on the bottom. It'll be plenty strong enough with just a 12. So yeah, 12mm MDF, 5.5mm ply. Let's get it cut on the table saw. I haven't set my table saw up to 45 degrees. I've just built myself a little mitre jig, similar to my crosscut sled really. It's got a base, and two end pieces, and then on the bottom it's got a piece of MDF which slides through the mitre track. And what that'll allow me to do is set up a stop block so that I can get repeat cuts, and that just slides through the blade with ease. Okay, so the other type of joint is the rebate joint, and for that I'm going to be using my router table. So this is one I built in a previous video. I've got this set up with a 12mm straight cutter in there, and I've got my fence set up so that I can run each piece through the cutter to create the recess for the rebate. What I'm going to be doing is doing that on the long edges of the box, not the short edges, so I'll be making 4 cuts in total. To cut the recess for the base to slot into, I switched to a 6mm cutter in the router table, slightly moved the fence back so I had a little bit of an offset.
And then after I cut that, I gave everything a quick sand just to tidy up any roughness.
Okay, so finished on the writer now. So both boxes go together pretty much in the same way. This is the one with the mitres on. And you can see I've got the mitres and then where the base is going to slot in. And then all four sides will come together to make the box. What I'm going to do now is just cut the bases for both of them, and then we'll see those go together when I glue them up. So when you're measuring for the bases, just remember that you need to account for the recess. So with these bits, you can actually just measure to the widest part of the cut on the mitre, because that's actually where the if I can get that the right way up, that is actually where the corner of that recess is going to be. So you just measure the widest part with your ruler. So in my case that's 110 and 180. So that's for the ones that you're doing with the mitre. With the rebate joint, you can just measure the length of the rebate on your longest side, and then add that to the depth of your rebate on each end. So I've got a 5mm rebate, so it's a 270 plus 5 either end, so that's 280 essentially, and then the same on the width, and that's how you get your base dimensions. Once you've cut your bases, it's always good to do a little dry fit before we put some glue on it. So essentially this base is going to be what you can use to sort of line up your all your sides and get it, and it'll also help to bring the sides into square as well, because you're just butting up against the base. So there we go, that fits together quite nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that up, and the same with the other one. So once these are sanded, they're pretty much finished. You can go on and paint these if you're using MDF, or if you're not using MDF, you can go on and stain these or put whatever finish you want on them. I'm not going to bother because they're only for the workshop. I've only made 3 so far because I ran out of clamps, which answers the age-old question of how many clamps do you need in your workshop, and the answer is many, very many. But I've shown you 2 different corner joins. One's a rebate joint, the other one's a mitre. Very simple, but they'll do the job for me. And I'll be storing things like glue in this long and thin one, and some drill bits and things that I've got lying around in the drawers just to tidy up my drawers. So yeah, job done. So, end of another day here on My Does Stuff. Today I've built some storage boxes, some little ones just for my drills and my glue. and a few other things around the workshop. Great day, great weekend, really enjoyed myself. So I'm going to celebrate my day with a beer. So I've got a Brewdog Clockwork. I haven't got a bottle opener, so I'm just going to use this file to pop the lid off. Oh, that is nice. And remember, you stay safe, get some stuff done.